Alright, so for today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to analyze a win that I got because this season is super sweaty. I played probably 10 games and got absolutely dumped on in every single game. So I'm just going to go through and analyze this, kind of let everybody who's struggling see into my brain as to what I'm doing, and just try and help some people get a win because for some reason the skill base has turned up to 1,000,000,000 and you gotta try super hard just to get a win. Alright, so I'm gonna land at brutal boxcars. I think I was just crashing out and just wanted to try and land somewhere different. You'll see here in a second that I noticed the train is coming in, and so I decided to land on that, and that ultimately changed the game for me. Kind of crazy how little decisions here and there affect the outcome of a whole game. This one ultimately let me get the win. There's a couple of times in this game where I should have not won the fights that I was in, but you'll see in a second. Don't know what he was doing. I will say that this chest takes so long to open, but it's completely worth it. I didn't play a lot last season. I know that the train was on that map, so I never really got to experience it. See, thought I could go through a door right there. Just can't. I have noticed that the surge fire and the SMG where you can aim down sights, those are actually pretty good. Don't know what that was. That was a ghost. Gotta be completely honest. Kind of freaked me out. Alright, so right here is where the game changes. I got a gold hollow assault rifle. And I heard fighting, so I decided to jump off. And I see that there's a dude possibly weak in there. I catch him slipping right through the window right there. Just wanted to make sure he was alone. And here comes someone else to fight. He blasts out, and I got laser. There's 3 people there. So I just disengaged from the situation. Shield up a couple times. See, he's running, so I assume that he's weak. And got him. This guy did not know where I was. Sorry, Foggy. Had to get the crown. So you'll notice I pick up this void mask. This is essential in solos. Absolutely. I would say probably better than shockwaves. Just because you can basically pick when and where you're going to teleport to. I see that there's a crown 700 meters away, so I know that someone probably got eliminated over there. So I'm running that way just to try and get the jump on somebody. I don't know why those chests make that noise, because it definitely doesn't sound like a normal chest. Still getting used to the new movement. I totally thought that I could roll right there. Just can't. I have noticed that a lot of people use cars. So I'm trying to disengage, get to a cover spot. He just couldn't. He couldn't see that coming. This gun is just way too good. Especially a gold one. Hit scan without building. You gotta pick and choose when you're gonna fight. You gotta have cover, or else you're just gonna get eliminated. I see in my minimap that someone has a medallion up here, so I'm going to him in the hopes that other people are going there too. Because at this point, I just wanted to kind of keep getting a feel for the season. Didn't really expect to win, just because everybody is sweating super hard. So I see that he's trying to run, and my aim is just terrible. Maybe not. That's what I'm talking about, hit scan. If you have decent aim, you're going to do well this season. It's kind of how Chapter 3, I think, was. This guy, I don't think he knew I was here. I think he was trying to get away from somebody. That guy. I think he was panicking. So this is when I decided to push. Because I knew that he was weak. I'd cracked him. I heard him. I just didn't know which level he was on. Hence the slide. I will say if you're going to use a shotgun, use the auto one. All the other shotguns are just too high risk, too low reward. This is also another game changer right here, this mythic mask. I don't think I use it as much, just because you'll see later on I was really trying to go for the win, but this mask is busted. I noticed that there's a medallion on the floor over here. This one's actually really good. It constantly reloads your weapons. It came in clutch a couple of times, I think, and then I saw that the car was coming. So I just decided to disengage and get out of there. Probably could have eliminated myself right there, just because I didn't know where I threw it. I'm taking this geyser just to try and get some aerial coverage to see exactly where this dude was. So right there I see the crown was dropped 1,300 meters away, so I know at least one person is that far away. I'm pretty sure this is a bot. Okay, for some reason, every time someone shockwaves, I stutter, and it's very frustrating. Because I could have finished this guy, pause, but he ends up getting away. I decided to chase him because I know he's weak, but this ultimately lets me get very good positioning for the end game, so I'm glad that I did it. I see him jumping and stuff through there. I'm just making sure no one else is lurking around here like a little rat. Height with hit scan is very important, because essentially if you can see them, you can hit them if you have good enough aim, especially with a dot sight. I see up there that there's a jump pad, so I'm trying to go to that just to get more aerial coverage to see exactly where everyone is. So as I make my way up there, I see that someone else dropped a victory crown 1,200 meters away, which lets me know that there's people basically on the edge of the storm. So I'm just scanning, trying to see exactly where the dude with the octane from Rocket League went. See, the crown still hasn't been picked up, but it lets me know essentially what direction people are going to come from, where to look for them. This is the fun part about solos, is just waiting, especially if you're trying to get a win. I wasn't trying to go for a high kill game or anything like that. I literally just wanted the umbrella, because I had gotten dunked on 10 games in a row. So I just wanted a personal victory. I was trying to determine how far away 645 meters was, just to see exactly where they were, if they were in that POI, or if they were on the road, or in front of it. And I see that someone picked up the crown, so I know that there's someone else there. So I see right here that old buddy got eliminated with a blade, and I have seen online where the blade is very hard to counter sometimes if they kind of take you by surprise. So I was just anticipating a blade strike. I'm trying to rotate to the next highest point in the circle, where when I'm coming down I see that someone is at this shrine right here. And I take this fight pretty stupidly. I only won that because of the medallion that constantly reloads, if I'm being honest. And then I wasted a big pot. So, very bad plays all around. I was kind of freaking out. I decided to drop down to try and find some kind of healing, where I found these bandages right here. Probably should have gone indoors to take them, just because I'm chilling out in the middle of the open. But again, I was just freaking out because I should not have won that fight. These little sprites right here are very good, especially for an initial burst of healing. So I see that this dude has a car, so I go back to the height. He gets back in, which I'm not sure why he did. He could have lasered me from behind right there, but I'll take it. And I got really lucky with the circle right here. So 2 people in cars. This guy, I don't know what was going on there. I notice that I have 2 movement items, and I'd rather keep the mask, so I pick up these porta bunkers here just to give me more protection. I see him peeking out through that tree right there, and then he gets third-partied. So I know that the last guy's right there. I see him pop over. get a couple good shots on him. At this moment, I'm not peeking out. I'm just waiting because I know that he's just probably going to use cover until he has to move. I don't know if he was lagging right there or what. That was kind of weird. I'm also trying to be conscious of the storm. So I'm using this wall just to kind of try and see. I see him right there. Miss every shot but one. At this point, I see that the circle is going to move to the top of this mountain over here. So I debate taking the car, but at the end of the day, probably would just be a big old target. I'm trying to get as high as possible, just so I can look down. You'll see here, I'm about to put down a porta bunker, just so I have extra cover. I know he can't be behind me. I see him right there. I also know that he has to stay on this mountain, or else he could potentially be screwed by the storm and be stuck down there with no way to get up. Making sure that he's not trying to loop around. Then I see that he's moving. And that's the medallion just coming in clutch. It was reloading for me. So as long as you have good aim and you find the gold gun, you'll do well. Just make sure you play smart and take advantage of the positioning that you have. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, sub. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.